I'd like to, if the heifer was around 420 kilos when we put them in calf next April. So we hope that she will continue with the way she is at the moment, and she will be coming out of the shed like say 380 kilos kind of that way in late February, first and March.
Hello and welcome to the Beef Edge, the Teagasc Beef podcast, for all your latest news, information and advice for Irish beef farmers. I'm Catherine Egan, and on this week's episode I'm joined by future beef farmer Aonghusa Fahy from County Galway to get an update on his farm system, management at Weaning, and discuss the cattle from his farm that will be on display at the National Ploughing Championships stand. Aonghusa, can you give an overview of your system?
Well, I'm suckler to beef. We calf at 24 months of age. We try to finish everything at 30 months of age. We're a grass-based system. Usually I finish off my cattle off grass also.
And this year's calves, Aonghusa, how are they performing?
Even though the weather is pretty poor and stuff, they have turned out to be fairly good. First of all, overall they're doing 1.18 on average. The males are doing 1.21 and the females are doing 1.13. I was a bit disappointed on the males, but when on their average weight, all right. But after kind of looking at them and going back on my figures, I just seen that a lot of the males were out of heifers, and the heifer just they just can't put as much into a calf as normal. So overall, doing fairly good considering the year that we have.
Most definitely, Aonghusa. And how are you going about weaning them now?
Well, Catherine, mine is not as straightforward. Okay, it's weaning pads that I use. I brought them in the other day there now, put on the weaning pads on the calves. I leave them together nearly for 5 or 6 days. I did them there, like I say, on a Sunday. I would probably do them then on the following, take away the cows in the following Friday. And then I do another 10 again. And usually I wait for the calves to be around 280 kilos generally, so that they be good strong calves as well. Like we started feeding meal about 6 weeks ago, about a half kilo. We're up to about a kilo now, so that's a big help as well. We're using creep grazing as well. The minute they're born, calves go out of the shed and they're on their own, and as well throughout the whole grazing season that they're breaking the bond the whole time. And the process at the very end is very easy on the calf. We'd also there about 6 weeks ago we did our vaccination program as well. We did IBR and Bovafast as well about 6 weeks ago as well. So all that is done well before, so there's no other really stress on the animal.
That's great, Aonghusa. How has breeding season gone for you this year?
At the time, I thought it was going. It was a tough breeding season. The cattle weren't showing signs of heat for that long. I was kind of dependent on my moo heat, and also I had a chin and ball on the vaccinated, and I was using that to pick them up. I didn't really know when they were actually bulling or standing, so I used to just, if I didn't see them the evening before or whatever, if I only saw the paint on the following morning, I do them that evening. I got all my heifers in calf, and there's only one cow that I wanted to get in calf that didn't go in calf. So overall, it has been very good considering like what I was faced on that. So like I haven't lost that really, only just the one cow that I wanted to keep, and all my heifers went in calf as well. So looking, I'll have like 10 heifers back into the cycle next year as well.
How did the steers that finished earlier this month, how did they perform?
Well, Catherine, the spring was very bad here. Usually I'd have them finished off before 28 months, and the heifers around 26 months. But this year, they're going that right up to the 30 months for the bullocks. The heifers probably are right. They're going over the 2 months longer. Really, the winter was 2 months longer, so they're really going 2 months longer when they've been finished as well. The bullocks, like say, are averaging around the 400 kilos. Say anything that was out of AI are all kind of killing. Around the U, and say when my stock bull to be ours, and like the heifers are killing around 330, 350 kilos as well. So overall, not too bad considering the year that was in it.
A lot of rain has fallen in the past number of months, particularly here in the West, Teagasc. How are you managing grass on the farm at the moment?
I have a particularly dry farm. Now they were up to the day. Now the last few days have been exceptionally dry, but before that was very wet. Cattle were very unsettled. Graze outs probably weren't as good as I had hoped. I constantly put out a small bit of nitrogen all the time, so I had a constant flow of grass. Now the clear outs up to now weren't as good, but I was kind of moving them on. When they get unsettled, I'd move them on to a new patch all the time, a new paddock all the time. So they were only kind of staying in each paddock for about 2 days, and they weren't getting really full clean out. So hopefully now, from now on, that if the weather stays like this, I can get full clean outs on them now and get it set up for next year again. But overall, the grass it's not that bad. I'm not that scarce on it. It's just that the quality. I'm just hoping that it didn't the last time didn't affect it too much, not being grazed out properly.
And what's your plan in the coming weeks to build covers, Angus?
Well, Catherine, the weaning process, so I'll just build up my cover. I'd have stripper cows be going in for feeding there. They're in feeding at the moment. They'll be sold, so they'll be taken totally off grass. I'll have cows weaned as well. And if I get very tight on grass, I would feed out silage for the cows, and that would be weaned. If I have to bring them in early, I'll bring them in early. But the weanlings, I would try to keep grass in front of them right up to October, into October if I can at all. The weanlings will continue being on a kilo of meal as well, so that will help that as well.
And you've done some work on the farm to try and incorporate clover in the swards, Angus. How has that gone for you?
The last few years, I've kind of tried to get clover established on the farm. We had in our reseason, back in the years, we had clover sown in it, but they weren't really established. So the last few years, we kind of pulled the handbrake on the nitrogen in them places, and now I don't have to put any nitrogen at all on them, and they're growing as much grass as the rest of the farm. So really, just pulling the handbrake on that. And also, we've sampled on doing sowing, stitching in grass with a guttler contractor. Sows in the grass for us. We did it in springtime. We did it in late May. We got bad weather. I thought it wasn't going to come, but it's really established in there at the moment. Before we did the stitching, I had to spray off. I had a lot of docks on the farm, so we sprayed off them last year and the year before as well. So we had a clean pasture to work with.
That's great, Angus. How are you fixed for feed this winter, and what's your plan?
I got enough straw. I bought it there last week. We got big beds of straw down, so that side of things is fine. Silage never wasn't a problem. I was constant. Now I had a lot of bits. I was constantly cutting the whole summer long, and I was gathering a small bit of silage the whole time. The last week or two, about 2 weeks ago, we cut our last bit of silage, so we have plenty of silage in. We did a budget there, and we've plenty of silage, and we've hay from other years as well. And the sheds will get really, really tight. We have plenty of fodder and straw now, just established at the weekend, and in safe and sound, and shed good quality straw for bedding as well.
And your cattle will be on display at the Teagasc stand next week at the National Ploughing Championships. Can you talk through the background of the bullock and heifer that'll be on showing us?
Well, the heifer is out a heifer as well. The bull I used on that heifer was Indel Ira LM 2014. The replacement index of the heifer is 147. Now her weight is 290. Now she was doing 1.13 on average daily gain. When she was born, it was 35 kilos, so it was a small calf when it was born. But the carcass weight is at 24.7. Milk is about 2.7, and it's a fairly shapy heifer, and it's coming at 2.9 as well for confirmation as well. It's a fairly good heifer. Okay, she's a very docile heifer, and I hope to bring it into my herd as a cow next year. I'll put her in calf as well. The bullock was out of Scarron Mark. CH 4419. Now it's a good big steer now at the moment. It's 365 kilos. It was a heavy calf when it was born, 60 kilos. When it was born, it's doing 1.155 a day on average now. It has a big carcass of 28.9 as well. When that bullock was born, the first time I ever castrated the animal, the calf, when it was 3 days old, I castrated with lambring as well. So it is castrated since the day it was, you could say, it was born. Second day it was born, and we got all the same treatment as all the rest of the calves from there on in as well.
And when will you plan to calve the heifer down, Angus?
I hope to calve the heifer, say 24 months of age. She's a shapy heifer and everything, but she will be put into. I will see now what bulls will be available next year, but I will be putting it into calf to something very easy. All I hoped for the first year for the like of her is to just get a live calf out of her, and she has everything. She has milk, she has power, she has. She's become a good mother. She's good breeding lines. But the first year, I will be just getting her in calf to easy calf and bull, probably short gestation at all possible.
The key thing in the next coming months, Angus, will be to maximise performance of those two over the winter period so that they're on target next spring at turnout.
When we wean them and bring them in now for the winter, we'll weigh them. We'll see if they're on target. Now they are above target, the two of them. We will keep an eye on the condition of them and the weight. And if the quality of the silage, we haven't got it tested yet. If the silage is back, we will increase the meal being fed. We'll probably end up feeding 2 kilos of meal on that. I'd like if the heifer was around 420 kilos. When we put them in calf next April, the end of next April next year. So we hope that she will continue with the way she is at the moment, and she will be coming out of the shed say 380 kilos, kind of that way in late February, 1st of March. Say.
That's great, Angus. We look forward to seeing both the heifer and steer at the Teagasc stand next week at the Ploughing Championships.
Thank you, Catherine.
That's all for this week's episode, and my thanks to Angus for joining me on the show. We hope to see you at the Teagasc National Ploughing Championships stand. You can catch up on all other shows and interviews from the Beef Edge podcast on the Teagasc website at teagasc.ie, or you can listen on Apple and Google Podcasts as well as Spotify. Don't forget to rate, review and subscribe so you never miss a show. For all the updates from our beef programme, keep an eye on our Twitter and Facebook pages. Until next time, I'm Catherine Egan and thanks for listening.